Welcome to Haken, an Animal Crossing podcast, your podcast dedicated to all things Animal Crossing. Episode 126 is brought to you by Blush Sprout, one of our newest Patreon patrons. This week, Sergio and I will be talking about our very first fishing tourney in New Horizons, the end of the Bunny Day event, and 5 things we'd like to see make a return to New Horizons. So to begin, hello Sergio, how you doing?
Hello, True. I'm doing pretty awesome. Still really enjoying this game. What about yourself?
Same. I just hit the 145 hours mark.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah, so I'm trying to gain on you. What are you at?
I think I'm around 190. Yeah, you're getting there.
All right, you're gonna get to 200 by next week easily.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome. So are you basically only gaming with Animal Crossing, or are you starting to like kind of fit in some other games here and there?
Every now and then I get that competitive itch and I play some Rocket League, but that's about it. No more than an hour. Definitely no other single player stuff at all. I don't even remember what game is out there.
It's funny because by the end of this past week, I was having a real hankering for something competitive. So I've put in a couple hours of Splatoon this weekend.
Oh.
I played with a friend a bit on Friday. He was just warming up for a tournament that he was doing. So I just popped in and we did some twin league battles like that. And then,
Nice.
Yeah, during the weekend, I did some more rankings for my, I guess, score on X rank. So yeah. Been
Nice.
playing a little bit of Splatoon, but after that, I just instantly feel like going back to New Horizons.
Yes.
I've made a lot of progress this week. I've built tons of inclines. I'm about to get to my 5th one. I believe it's either 4 or 5, and I've got 4 bridges right now, but I definitely need at least 2 more. And then from there, I'm kind of just like gonna mess around with some designs, see if I come up with something cool that I want,
Nice.
But yeah, no, I've been mostly developing that aspect of it because I don't want to deal with moving my trees just yet. Because there are a lot of there's so many trees in my place, and I really have to move them so I can actually decorate my villagers' homes. Because right now they all just live in forests. Right now I'm living forest life, essentially the Japanese title
nice.
of this game, or I guess rather the song "Forest Life."
Yes.
It's really called Animal Forest. But yeah, that's what I'm trying to capture right now. And I'm just
Nice.
like, I can make them a little bit cuter. Because I'm at 4 stars for my island at the moment. I'm just like, I don't think I'm too far from 5. But Isabel just keeps telling me this thing about like having too many trees. And I just ignore her because I don't understand those words,
Yeah, that doesn't make sense for Animal Crossing.
Yeah. So how's your town been going? I haven't visited it since that one video I made like 2 weeks ago going through your town. Have you done any major changes with the terraforming yet?
No, not really. No major changes. I did very minor terraforming just to sort of make my paths work a little bit better, a little more like naturally. But other than that, everything is very connected with the paths, and I have 7 bridges and I think 5 inclines, and I might do 2 more. But those are extras. Those are gonna wait. Right now, I'm saving for a new room expansion because I want some more storage. But not a lot of development per se. I'm working on finally. I like to spread out my fruit trees, like to have them, peach, orange, apples, cherry, pears, like sort of in succession. I don't want 2 of the same very close to each other, and that's taking forever. But I'm almost done.
Yeah, I'm picky about that same thing, and that's another reason why I don't feel like moving my trees yet, because they're all just like bunches of one type of tree, and I'm just like, oh, how do I like spread these out a little better?
Yeah.
I'll deal with it later. I'm gonna go build another incline.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I've been scanning. I wanted to mention this last week, but I forgot. But I've been scanning in Amiibo every day, and today I scanned in. I've been trying to do a character of a different personality each time.
Hmm.
There were a couple that I scanned in just because I actually wanted them. Pearl, who's a snooty personality, and Grizzly, who's a cranky personality, and oh my goodness, he's quickly becoming one of my favorite villagers of all time. He's so like gruff and mean. Well, he's not really mean at all, but he's just like he's a cranky guy.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's just so big. And I put him up in the
Yes.
forest. He's like the one sole cabin in this little forest that I've got, and he's just tons of fun. I see him walking around, sitting by trees. I love him.
Oh,
um,
nice.
yeah, but I've been scanning in Amiibo, and it's mostly because I'm like, okay, I want a new DIY recipe, but I also want to like see if there's differences between what the characters make and stuff. And I am noticing a bit of a difference. So with the cranky types, I noticed their stuff was very what Grizzly gave me some weird things. He gave me like these jail bars that are like pretty huge, but you could
Oh,
seriously make a real jail out of them.
yeah.
It's crazy. And then he gave me a gong, which was kind of strange. And then I forget what the last thing was. It was like maybe a bench or something. Yeah, I don't recall. But the snooty personality Pearl, she gave me like this gold furniture and stuff, like pretty fancy, classy stuff.
Oh.
um, and that's actually stuff that she's like crafting inside of her place, But like before
Yeah.
then, I kind of forget what she gave me. Kind of just some more upscale-ish type of items. The lazy characters give you mostly like cardboard stuff, I noticed.
Oh.
It kind of fits what their homes tend to have as
Yeah.
far as things go. I scanned in Poncho because I was like, I want to see my little best friend from the first game
Nice.
again. He's a jock type, so he gave me a barbell, so some weights to
Oh.
lift. So I know how to craft that now. And then the one I did today was a normal villager type, and this one was actually it was a recipe that I already had. It was for the rocking horse. I don't know if you have that one.
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. Well, she didn't. The bummer about this is she doesn't give you the recipe. She just kind of says, "Oh, you already know how to make
Yeah,
that.
right.
That's fine. Go and make it." And I was like, maybe later. I didn't make it. Maybe I'll go back later tonight and do it. But yeah, just that's the one bummer because I wouldn't mind if they gave me an extra recipe because then like you don't have the rocking horse, I can just gift you that recipe or put it in my. Oh my goodness, my pile of extra recipes has just grown so much. And it's all Bunny Day stuff, which I assume at this point everybody's gotten all of it and
Yeah.
don't really. And who's going to care about it after today, essentially? So I'm probably going to sell all of those extra recipes. I'll put a little thing on the Discord that says, anybody just like want these extra recipes? If you need them, I've got them. I'll give them to you, but I'm just going to sell them,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
But we'll get on Bunny Day a little bit. But yeah, basically, I just wanted to tell you that. I've been scanning in Amiibo. That's kind of the discoveries I've been making, and I'm going to keep scanning them. I'm probably going to keep doing the normal type, though, because I have a feeling they're going to give me that bookshelf that I want to craft.
Oh.
So I'm being strategic here. I'm trying to find the items that I want to craft out of these villagers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, okay, we got to go over a lot of events, essentially. So, the cherry blossoms ended. I didn't really write it down. How did you go out on the cherry blossoms this week?
Let's see. I don't think I did that well, but I think that's fine. We discussed last week that it's cool to have something to look forward to next year. I think I got 5, maybe 6, but probably like 5. So I think that's about half of the recipes.
Mm-hmm.
And the only shame is that I really like them all. So in a
Mm-hmm.
way, it's a shame, but in another, I have something very nice to look forward to in one year.
Yeah, and we both agreed last week that just like the recipes for the Cherry Blossom Festival were far superior to the Bunny Day
Yes.
items. I liked them a lot more, but it's just like you get so little use out of them. Like 10 days is so short for Animal Crossing, to only have it decorated for that long with that stuff. Because, like, the cherry blossoms disappear, and then you have all this pink stuff that just doesn't fit the rest of the environment.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I don't know. That was the only thing I was bummed about. But now, I went crazy. We talked about it. We didn't mind missing some of these recipes. But during Friday, I was just like, I'm going to have my game on in the background and I'll just listen for the balloons. And so while I worked, I had the game on and I would shoot down balloons if they came by to get the cherry blossom recipes. And I ended up getting them all. So I'm happy about that because, like, next season, I'm going to deck my place out with the cherry blossom stuff.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm ready. I've got the recipes. I'm going to craft them. It's going to be beautiful. And I caught a lot of extra, of the recipe, of the crafting materials to craft them. So
yes.
Yeah, I'm going to be good to go on those. Cool. So the next one that we had going on was the fishing tourney. So the fishing tourney, this is our first one. CJ came by and he gave us, the lowdown on how it was going to work. But essentially, you got 3 minutes to catch as many fish as possible. And oh man, it goes by so fast, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like 3 minutes. The first time you get to try it, it's free. So the first time's a freebie, that's fine. But after that, it's 500 bells per round. Like that'll add up after however many things you have to do to get the gold trophy. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But basically, like once you catch all these fish, you can just sell them to Chip, and just like regular, if he's just visiting you during the week, he does buy the fish at a higher price than the Nooklings would. So I made like 200,000 bells during that whole thing, and it just went straight to my house. To be fair though, I do already have the money to pay off my house right now, and add, I think, the last expansion. But that's my turnip money, so I saved it. So anyways, you'd get 2 extra points during the whole thing if you caught 3 or more fish. So basically there wasn't really like a difference on like the quality of fish. It was literally quantity. So, if you caught 3 fish, you'd get 5 points. If you caught 1 or 2, you'd only get 1 point or 2 points, but anything over that, anything 3 and over, it was essentially that number plus 2. And
Correct.
That would be your score. And then the points, how they worked was if you got 100 points, you'd get a bronze trophy. If you got 200 points, you'd get a silver trophy. And if you got 300 points, you would get the gold trophy. And oh my goodness, is that hard? So I guess how'd you do on the point stuff overall?
Overall, well, I kind of on purpose, I stopped at 100. I wanted to see where that would put me, for next time. I wanted to see what I would get, and that would give me an idea of how much harder I had to try for next time. And yeah, I got my bronze trophy.
Yeah. It's it takes some effort to get to those amount of points. Yeah. It's pretty crazy. Like 3 minutes, like I said, catching fish. Yeah, I think the most I caught at any one point was like 9. And then, the timer would be pretty much out. So I'm like, oh, I won't catch this fish on time. I'm just going to go dig up another clam so I can make some more bait,
Yeah.
Because if you didn't have bait for this whole thing, which neither of us did, it was a very hard event for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me tell you, the one bummer about it was that the night before I had like 30 bait, but I spent it all that night. I didn't even think about the fishing tournament. I was just like, oh, I'm looking for some fish here. I'm going to sit here for a while and get some. Because at one point last week or the week before, I caught a snapping turtle. And then I was like, I want to find another one of those and just like put it around my town, So I did that, and then I went into this whole tournament without any bait whatsoever.
Oh wow, man!
Yeah, so I had to make a bunch during the day. I had a system by the end of it, and even that system did not get me to gold. I only got silver, and I'm bummed because I was 24 points away from the gold.
Oh, so close.
Yeah, I literally, I ran in to the resident services building, and I crafted as much bait as I could at that point, and I was like, all right, each of these rounds takes 3 minutes. There's about 8 minutes left. I'm gonna probably get 2, maybe 3 if I'm lucky, of these rounds in. And unfortunately, I only got 2. But the third one wouldn't have made a difference unless I had some sort of miracle where I caught like 50 million fish. Like if they all bit at like the first round, you know, then I would have gotten it maybe, but that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
It never does. So I guess just to continue a little bit on the fishing tourney, there are a lot of fish-related items that you could collect. Every 10 points, you could trade those in to Chip Jr. or CJ, and he would essentially give you another item. And these were really fun. I liked them. They're pretty cute. I think... I'll ask you my question about that. How'd you feel about the items that we won from this event?
Yeah, I like them too, especially because, there's a good amount and there's variations on them too. So there's some that have like a different color, a different shape. So it definitely keeps you motivated to keep getting them.
Yeah, and same for me. I like them. You do get to the point where you start getting duplicates of them, so there was like a certain amount of items. I think it was something like 13. So, Sergio, you're gonna have some more to get once you get to that next fishing tournament in July. But yeah, basically, I really like them. My favorites were this fish door plate that I got. It just goes on your door. It's a nice little fish. And then there was a fish print as well, which is a really cool like poster that could go on the wall in your house. The fish wand is adorable. It's one of the cutest wands they've ever made. It just looks so cute. And this one I didn't write down on my notes, but I just remembered it. There's this really cool, I think it's the Marine Pop wall.
Yes.
It looks great in this game, because I think that was one that existed in New Leaf, right? I want to say it did, but it's got this little pattern of fish on it, and it's a cute wall. I like it a lot. Yeah. So I guess I do want to jump into this question. So like, how did you feel about this fishing event? It's a very different format. It's a very different formula to the game thus far. So I wanted to get your thoughts on it.
Yeah, and like you said, I liked it because it was different. Yeah, I mean that's about it. It kept us interested. I guess my only issue with it is that it's not really a tournament. There's really no competition with you and the villagers. I kind of miss that from New Leaf, but I guess, if you're gonna make something different, you kind of have to do away with some of the traditional aspects of a tournament. So overall, yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, I did miss that little aspect at the end where you just like check into the tent at the end of the day after the tourney, and you would all show up and it would tell you who got first place and second and third,
Right.
Yeah, I missed that too, but as far as the formula goes, I think it was good. I think it was this is probably the most difficult thing I've experienced in the game so far. I probably spent like a good 3 or 4 hours and couldn't get to the points to get gold. And I was actively trying. Like, I spent so much time just like scouring my beaches for clams, getting ready for a round, going. And I mean, that's probably what did it to me, like slowed me down. It was just the fact that I was not prepared with the clams and the bait and everything. So that was a bummer, but overall, I had a good time. By the end of it, I was just like, oh man, this like manual task is so satisfying to do. I press all these buttons in the right succession and magic happens,
Yes.
So yeah, no, like once I had my strategy down, it was pretty good, but yeah, next time I know what we're in for. And the other thing I didn't get to try was the multiplayer aspect to it, Did you get to do that at all?
No, and eventually I looked up what happens, what you get, the extras, and I'm definitely gonna try that next time.
Does my one question was, does everybody get that score? Does that translate to their own games so they can get like the gold trophy and all the prizes and stuff?
I believe you get whatever points you catch, but the bonus is bigger for everybody. And I believe it also counts for people that aren't even fishing. They still get the bonus for some reason. So it's like they're getting free points even if they're not fishing.
Oh, so, oh man. we just need to fish together then.
Yeah, exactly.
Next time, we are going to be together in this whole thing. We got to get like a whole town of 8 people
Yeah.
and just all benefit from this. We'll all pick a different spot, already be there, and just fish away.
Yeah, and we'll all have like 300 bait ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, let me do the calculations real quick. Each pack of bait carries about 10. We've got 40 slots in our place, so we can carry about 400 bait on us. So, that's our day right there.
Yeah.
And and if you're all getting a much bigger bonus together, then you're not going to need that much bait at all. You're probably going to be done in like an hour.
Yeah.
Okay, we're doing that next time. That'll be our thing.
Let me ask you, because I saw this, but it sounds like a rumor. If you get the silver trophy, do you also get the bronze?
Yes, I did get both.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so I mean, it would have been worth getting the gold because then I just have all the trophies already. But
Yeah.
now I'm just like, oh, I got something to work toward on the next one,
Right, yeah.
So yes, you do. I got both. I haven't put them up anywhere in my place yet. I'm kind of going. Every Sunday turns into my house is full of turnips day. So I can't really decorate until like later in the week. So that gives me it's sucky because I can't really do as much as I want to with my house right away. But
yeah.
It's okay because I can collect some things for my house over the week. So. When I do finally sell my turnips and clear out a little, my rooms start to fill in a lot more. And and that's something I did this week. Like I decorated my house a lot more. I got way more rooms at this point. But I made a kitchen for once. I've never like done a kitchen room in my home before. It's still missing a lot because I don't have too much in there. The bathroom that I'm working on is much worse. It is pretty empty. And then upstairs, I finally started running into some instruments. And so I've been making my band room essentially. I always love making a band room in Animal Crossing. So yeah, right now it's turn up time. So there's no space to really decorate, but later this week after I sell, I should be good to decorate some more.
Nice.
Cool. So we went over how we did. We went over the items. I guess, do you have any tips going into the fishing tourney next time?
Yeah, basically have a lot of bait ready to go, like already crafted and everything, and just be ready to play with others in multiplayer. The bonus are definitely worth it.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, that's all that you can really do any better, because I've got to say, it's a tough tourney. It's really hard to get to that 300 on your own. I can tell you by experience, I failed hard.
Yeah, if you can start early, it starts at 9 a.m. So if you can clear your day or just, be ready for multiplayer, that should definitely speed it up.
Yeah, I streamed it for about an hour in the morning, and then by the time I got back, I probably had about 3 hours left of the tourney, and I was like, I should be able to make it, and I did not make it.
Yeah.
I was bummed.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Cool. So let's go ahead and move into the next event because it was an eventful weekend for sure.
Yes.
And for those of you who don't know, I've been saying today a lot. It is Sunday for us, so that means Bunny Day is still going on. But I don't know. Are you gonna check in at all anymore, Sergio?
No.
Yeah, me neither. At least not for Bunny Day. If I go in, I'm just gonna be doing my own thing. I don't need to do this Bunny Day thing anymore. But let's talk about it real quick. So Bunny Day this time around lasted for 2 whole weeks, which is a lot more than the previous 1 day that we had for Bunny Day in New Leaf and all games prior. But Zipper T Bunny shows up for this last day, and the only thing he's really got is 3 new recipes that you can get for crafting every single thing. So the first one is the Bunny Day Arch, which you can get if you've crafted all the other Bunny Day stuff. After that, you just craft that and he'll literally give you the other thing, which is the Wobbling Zipper Toy. And then once you craft that, he will give you just one more item, which is the Bunny Day Wand, which is also pretty cute. I didn't mind that one.
Yes.
The Zipper Toy is also cute. Honestly, these 3 are on the better end for me as far as the items go.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have to use the wobbling zipper toy to actually make the Bunny Day wand. So I did spend a little bit extra. It wasn't much to craft the zipper toy, so I made a second one just so I could have the toy and the wand, and then,
Mm.
just stick those in my closet and never see them again.
Yeah.
And then there was one special thing, Sergio. I don't know if you've done this one, but if you talk to Zipper T Bunny and say, I have some eggs, he will check your pockets. If you have one of each kind of egg, he will trade. You can trade those in for an egg basket. So,
Yes.
yeah, if you didn't do that, I'm sorry you missed it, but Bunny Day, it'll come back next year.
Yeah.
You can get it then. But yeah, that was it. Basically 4 new things. Honestly, some of the better of the things that we've been able to craft thus far, so I didn't mind that. But I did want to ask you, like, how did you feel about the last bit of this Bunny Day event?
Well, the last bit felt like the conclusion to the 2 week event, and I liked it because in like we mentioned in New Leaf, it was a 1 day thing, and now it felt more like a conclusion. So if this is the approach that we're gonna have for events, I oh my goodness, I love it so much more already because it's much more prolonged. The animals got all into it. Everyone was wearing their egg outfits today, which was hilarious to see for sure.
That was probably my favorite part of the whole thing, just seeing all of the how just your villagers looked ridiculous. It was great. They some of them you're just like, I cannot believe this character is wearing this, because I have a couple cranky villagers,
Yeah.
Roscoe and Grizzly, and
Oh.
seeing them walk around in their Bunny Day outfits was just hilarious. It
Yeah.
was it was the best. I took pictures with them because you have to.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed that aspect of it. But yeah, no, I like what you're saying. Like, it just feels like this is the big thing you've been like kind of working toward the whole time. And I guess I'll say that the last week was just kind of me waiting around for the last day, because I think we talked about it last time, and I was like, oh yeah, I've crafted like every single thing I found, which was 37 or so items. So
Yeah.
for me, I didn't have too much to do the rest of the week because I kind of had everything.
Yes.
So it just felt like I was kind of waiting for that. Overall, I didn't mind a lot of the items. I thought they were mostly okay. The outfits were terrible. Really glad to see the villagers in them. Um, but I had a lot of excess eggs by the end, and I was like, I'm holding on to these in case like something surprising happens on that last day.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so I held on to them, and then as soon as I got everything, I was like, okay, then I'm just going to craft everything out of these remaining eggs and just sell it for money, and I made a good amount. And that went straight toward my loan payment. So, yeah, finished that. But yeah, I think that's the only thing that I ran into where it was just like, oh, I kind of went too crazy on this Bunny Day thing already.
Yeah.
There's not too much for me to do. And so when it rolls around next year too, like now that it's so in a complete state, am I going to be more annoyed during this Bunny Day thing? Just because I'm like, oh, thanks, Zipper, I don't have anything else to do. Or am I going to go even crazier and just kind of, instead of focusing on the collecting the recipes and crafting one of everything, maybe I'll just go crazy and be like, all right, it's Bunny Day. I'm going to go crazy for the next 2 weeks and decorate for it.
Oh, yeah, that's a good approach.
Yeah, so we'll see when it comes around, but I
Yeah.
did want to ask you too, like, what would you change about this event in the future?
Yeah, I'm with you. I was looking for like a little more challenge in the last day. I had pretty much 60 of each egg. Well, not except the Earth egg, because those were the hardest to get
Yeah.
by far. But I was hoping for like a last ditch challenge from Super T Bunny, and there really wasn't any. Really, like I was done with everything within an hour of when she showed up. At the plaza. So it was pretty simple, but at the end, it was nice to craft a lot of the wobbler toy because that one got you a lot of money. So Yeah, that's what I would have changed. Something like a little more spice with the last day, like something with challenge. But other than that, I really enjoyed the way it was done and the fact that I mean, in some ways, the too many eggs can be a little bit annoying. But I made so much money with just crafting, even just the outfits.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, everything, like once you craft everything, it just sells for so much more.
Yeah,
It's pretty
yeah,
worth it to use materials in crafting recipes rather than just selling them straight out. So yeah, no. I'm right there with you too. Like I just kind of didn't have a hard time once Bunny Day rolled around. Like I just had everything already. So it wasn't like I had to keep up or catch up or do anything special or extraneous to really keep up at the end.
yeah. And for next year, now that we have pretty much crafted everything, we know for sure we can eat the eggs if we need to move things around instead of eating fruit.
Yeah, I guess that's another thing too. I kept telling Jackie like, the beginning of Bunny Day was a little bit rough. That first day, first couple of days, people were just like, there are way too many eggs here. I am tired of trying to fish and every fish being an egg. And so surprisingly enough, Nintendo responded to that. They dropped the rates. They made it like a little bit more rare for the eggs to show up. I definitely noticed it.
Yes.
Because I was one of the few who wasn't like super bothered by it, so it wasn't anything that I felt needed a huge change. But I think if it had gone at the rates it was, I'd probably feel that sooner than later.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, eventually, people complained, the rates went down, and then I was telling Jackie the whole time, I was like, oh man, I kind of actually like having all of these eggs because I was terraforming at that point in the weekend, and eating them was a good source for me to be able to move my trees around and make that place like, just easily manipulated with my terraforming. So
Yes.
I was just like, Jackie, these people just couldn't make an omelet out of these eggs. We had a good thing going, but now they're so rare. And I actually had a friend text me, Edwin. He was like, do you have water eggs? And I was like, dude, I have like 2. And he was like, I need a bunch and they're not showing up for me. And I was like, well, people complained. And so Nintendo dropped the rates.
Yeah.
So you're just going to have to deal with that for now. And I feel like it dropped the balloon rates in general because then it became really hard to find the cherry blossom
Yes.
recipes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is just another bummer for anybody who was hoping to get all of those, because I know people struggled with that a lot.
Yeah. That was the most difficult for sure.
Yep. So, but it did go for 2 weeks, so I think they got the rates right by the end, because I was
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, had it been like this, probably would have had to do a lot more on actual Bunny Day in order to complete the event, but since it wasn't, I didn't really need to.
Yeah, and maybe it would have been nice if Zipper T Bunny like bought the eggs from you for like a little extra or the egg items.
You
Maybe they
mean a
can
little
patch that in.
extra?
Oh,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah, no, Jackie actually asked me that too. She was like, "Oh, does Zipper T Bunny buy like at a better price?" And I was like, "Oh no, I don't think he does."
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a little bit of a bummer. But, either way, I got plenty of money from the price at their regular rate.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, so that was really cool. Yeah, I guess, do you have anything else you'd like to say about this Bunny Day event at all?
It was very nice, and I feel like I don't know how I feel about Super T Bunny now. I guess I feel like I feel a little bit better about him.
Oh yeah, like I guess what was your feelings before this event?
I don't know. Maybe he's not as strange as we thought. He's nice. He just really really angry at you if you try to look at his back.
Yeah, which was a lot easier to do on this day. I kind of talked to him from behind, and he was like, "Yo, my face is in the front.
Yeah.
Don't talk to me back there. I know what you're doing." So that was pretty fun, because the first day, I only really, I guess I saw videos after the fact, but people were like, "Oh, if you do an
Yeah.
emotion, you could run behind him and talk to him real quick," and then it's like, there you
Oh.
go. you get his reaction of him being annoyed at you going back there. Yeah, so I'm excited to see how the other events play out. I'm sure they're all going to be like different, because I don't see this formula being, if they stick to this formula, I'm going to think people will get bored doing things that way. So I think everyone really needs to be unique here on out. And we're probably going to find that out pretty soon. Like Leaf is supposed to be added to the game for Earth Day on the 22nd of April. So sometime between now and April, there should be an update for New Horizons. Of course, the direct that announced this update did kind of put a disclaimer at the beginning that said this was all recorded beforehand due to COVID-19. People are like not in the office too much. They don't have the same workstations that they're used to. It could mean delays in a lot of things. So
right.
As of right now, there's no telling if it's going to be on time or not. It seems like Nintendo is doing okay, but I have a feeling they're pretty strict about their games and everything. I don't know how comfortable they are with people working on games from outside of the office too. It's really, I don't know. I don't know how their updates are going to go for this game over the next year, but I am hoping that they just happen because I want to see more. Especially after this one, because the whole time I was just like, oh man, Halloween is going to be so much fun.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So yeah, that's basically Bunny Day. I had a good time with it. I'm glad that we were able to get an event pretty soon after the game released. And this weekend, like I said, was very full. Between the fishing tournament, Bunny Day, and just those two, it was a lot of Animal Crossing for me this weekend.
Yeah, and I gotta say that the music for the end of Bunny Day or Bunny Day today, that may be my favorite event song. I really, really like it. I remember it was my 3DS theme for a while because it has that song and it's so catchy.
Yes, thank you for mentioning it. I was whistling the music the whole time
Yes.
today. Whenever I wasn't playing, I was just like whistling the Bunny Day music. So yeah, no, I liked it a lot. The music in the game is just there are a lot of really great songs going on in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So let's actually move on to our next topic, which is going to be the big one that we're focused on for the rest of the show. And this is 5 things we want to return to New Horizons. So I've noticed this conversation come up a lot more on the Discord and on the internet in general from, I guess, longtime fans of Animal Crossing. And it's basically that we're all beginning to notice that there's a lot of content not in this game that seems like strange because a lot of these things that have been in the game have been in it for a very long time. Art in the museum is a huge example to people. Essentially, people were wondering if that was ever going to come back and why it was missing, Gyroids are another example for sure.
Yeah.
But people are pointing these things out and we're like, okay, so I know we haven't seen all of the things that the game's going to bring because it's still got a lot to update and everything, So we're going to see the game change a lot over time, but as of right now, we're going to go with like 5 things that aren't currently in it that we want back. So Sergio, actually, I want to hear what your first thing is.
Sure, and my first thing is definitely not, I wouldn't consider it a staple of the series because it was only part of the newest game before New Horizons, which was New Leaf, and I'm referring to swimming or diving also. It was so relaxing and it led us to see creatures and like you definitely specifically said before, how can we be on an island and we're not able to swim? It just doesn't make sense. And I saw a tweet by Sarah from our Discord, and Sarah, I love you, but I know you're against diving. I am very much for it. I spent a lot of afternoons just diving. It was so relaxing, and then you get to focus on the sea creatures and you run into Pascal. It's just perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah, and I mentioned this before, especially as we were seeing trailers and stuff, and I was like, there's some weird stuff we haven't seen yet. And one of the weird things is definitely how are we not going to be able to swim when we're on an island? That
Yeah.
seems weird to me. I would think that would be one of the main big things that you do on an island.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, it's missing as of right now, and I think the biggest bummer for me with that one being missing is basically that there's less going into the museum, kind of less to collect in some sense, you know?
Yes. Mhm, mhm.
And, you know, some of those things are like pretty cool. Like some of the huge crabs that you could catch. I want those. I want to be able to get a bunch of cool crabs in my museum for sure.
Yeah, imagine if the sea creatures exhibit, it's like in a pool where you actually have to swim to see them around.
Yeah, yeah. And oh man, the exhibits in this are so good too. Like you would be able to see such an interesting display for them. And yeah, no, that's basically the sum of it. It's just like that there's less to collect and there's so much opportunity to make the display look awesome for an exhibit like that.
Yes. Hmm.
Yeah. Cool. So my first one is kind of a big one that I'm bummed that it's not there because I would use it at least once weekly, you know. But the Dream Suite is
Yes.
something that's missing, and it's weird because right now I think the game is cool because we can go and visit other places, but on those occasions where you just kind of want to see other towns and get some more ideas, the Dream Suite would be so great with this. Like, it was free range to go to any place. You could either put in a code to go somewhere, or you could just go somewhere random. You know, you never knew what you
Yes.
were going to get in that case. But basically, like, you could just go look and see what other people were doing with their islands or well, rather towns, because this was a New Leaf feature.
Hmm.
It's funny we both started with New Leaf features.
Yeah.
Just one game that they weren't in there forever, but they are ones that we want. But yeah, basically, you could go there and, you know, you can mess with everything, but it would just be a dream. You wouldn't mess anything up at all. And so I think the one place where that's cool is just that you don't have to rely on somebody being available for you to be able to go visit them. Because I know
Mm.
there are people who want to like visit my island and stuff. And I'm like, you know, it's during the week and it's a weird time to be like, no, I'm at work. And they're like, yeah, but you're also at home. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm at work.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so I'm trying to separate the two, still kind of keep productive and things. So I'm just like, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
available after this time. And then we can like, you know, go to each other's towns and stuff like that. So that's basically what I'm running into, where it's just like there I would like the freedom to just go whenever I could, or people could go and visit me whenever they could, you know? Like we don't have to both be on at the same time.
Definitely. And I think with outdoor decorating, just going to any town at all basically would give you a lot of inspiration and a lot of ideas. And just to let you know what things you might be able to craft eventually, what recipes you might get for items that you might don't even have an idea that exist in the game until you see them. So, yeah, missed opportunity, I think, at least for now.
Yeah, and even having that conversation with people after you visit their town and being like, "Hey, I visited your town. This item that you have is really cool. Is that like a recipe? Can you order it?" You know, like the ability to trade with each other and mail each other things, or you know, be on the lookout for extra recipes for certain people. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Um, and you know, that's something that people can just do. They don't have to like wait to go and visit a place, and you know, they can just like make notes of things and then send pictures later and be like, oh yeah, I went to your place, I liked this part a lot, you know,
Yes. Hmm.
and then tag them on Twitter. I've been getting tagged by people we've been playing with on Twitter, and it's been really cool. It's been cool to see their perspective of us hanging out together
Oh,
and the
yeah.
pictures
Yeah.
they got to take, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So what was your next feature?
The next one for me is the roost and everything that would come with it. Of course, Brewster, the ability to drink coffee, the ability maybe to work there as a part-time barista, even the coffee items that you would get from Brewster just for doing a good job. all of that, it's so good. I'm a big fan of coffee, and I definitely miss it in New Horizons.
Yeah, that's true. You are a huge fan, and yeah, I think a lot of people are really missing this feature just because, like, this is another one of those that's kind of a staple at this point. Like, it came in at Wild
Yes.
World and it stuck around every game, and Brewster is such a great character and people really miss him. So, yeah, I think this is definitely one that needs to make a comeback because I'm all for having more buildings around my town and having more kind of space to decorate around, you know?
Yes. Hmm.
Yeah. Having more and more, I guess, opportunities to really build out the life of the game for sure.
Yes. Hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so my next one is the Happy Home Showcase. And this is one that is like it's going to be the one that's kind of harder to implement because there's the way it worked in New Leaf was just so great. Basically, you would get street pass from people, and then their homes would show up in the Happy Home Showcase. And then once you went there, you could go and order furniture from there. You could order up to 5 pieces a day. So
Right.
it was really worth checking on the daily, especially if you had a bunch like I did. Like, I went to conventions a lot during that time, so I had tons and tons of houses to go through by the end of the night every day. And so I would like spend my night just looking at all the people's different houses and then saving some if I wanted something from there, and then going back to the convention the next day and collecting more, essentially.
Yes. Yeah.
And, I came up with a little fix for it. I was like, yeah, let's just like sign up for the Happy Home Showcase, and maybe when you save and end your game, it updates your little town and kind of randomly distributes your home somewhere,
Yeah. Yeah.
And so people could go and look at your house and be like, oh, cool, this is really awesome. And then they could order the items that it would let them order and just, be jealous of the items they can't get that they really want. But yeah, no, this feature is just like another really cool, quirky way to share things. And I want it back. I still want it. But at the same time, I'm just like, I don't know how Nintendo would implement it at this point, you know?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think there's got to be a way. I would be okay. I think most of us would be okay with, like you said, if it's just random, even if it's just with people in your friends list and not completely random. But either way, I think it's doable. And not only would we get a very nice feature, we would also get Digby, and I'm
Yeah.
all for that.
Yeah, that's true. Digby's not in this game. He's Isabel's brother, and she just ditched him.
Yeah.
And I think they're twins. I think their
Yeah,
birthdays are on the same day, right?
I believe so. Mhm.
Yeah, so they are completely related to each other, and she just left without
Yeah.
him. Yeah. So what was your next feature?
The next one is Red in the art exhibit, basically. Um, Honestly, I was really looking forward to this in New Horizons because this time around, I was not gonna look at a guide to know what were the differences between the fake art and the authentic ones. I was gonna keep trying and until it was gonna take forever, and I was looking forward to that because it was gonna be a challenge. But I was gonna do it legit. I was not gonna look at a guide, and I was gonna keep getting the art in duplicates and everything until I got it all legit for Blathers. But now we don't have red. We don't have the art exhibit, at least not yet. I think it's a very different approach to a part of the museum. So I think not having it in the game just yet, it's a big miss. So I do hope it gets added eventually.
Yeah, and that is also awesome. Just like actually doing it legitimately and not looking up the guides for everyone. Like, I obviously did on the other, in the other game. But yeah, no, I think it would have been really fun to do for sure. Like, now it's just gone, and there's rumors that it's coming back. People have been kind of suspecting that it would, and the museum honestly looks like eventually it would have that added to it, like a room.
Yes.
There's a space right there waiting for some expansion. But yeah, no, I also just wanted it because Jackie has always really liked art and everything. She's done art for a long time,
Mm.
and she liked looking at the little pictures and seeing like, oh, what did they call that piece? um, rather than it retaining its original name, you know.
Yeah, right, right.
But at the same time, you know, I don't know what hoops Nintendo has to jump through to get art like that into the game, because, it's a cartoonish depiction of some sort of real artwork, but being a high profile game like that, you don't know what copyrights and stuff have to go into making that an addition and stuff. So
Mm.
yeah, I mean, I don't know, but I would still like it to return, and I'm hoping the rumors about it coming back are true for sure.
Yes. Mhm.
Yeah. So my next one, and this one's gonna be one of the more obvious ones, and one that we may see a lot sooner than we think, but I want Leaf to come back into the game, not just for the character, but also for his shop. I want new types of greenery in the game. We haven't seen bushes at all. I don't know if there's something we can craft. It doesn't seem like it,
Oh.
but I would want to see bushes make a return in the game, along with like just some new types of trees that we've saw added in Pocket Camp, for example. They added birch trees, and I'm just like, that is awesome. I want to see a change up in the type of greenery in the game, because right now it's just like all the fruit trees are the same basic style as the hardwood trees, like the only real difference is throwing in a pine tree every once in a while.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
really, they all just kind of look the same, and they still look really nice, but I would like to have more really nice trees for sure.
Yes, that would be absolutely amazing. I feel kind of bad that I forgot about bushes, and that now that you reminded me, I really want them back.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like the thing to have in there for sure.
Yeah.
Because like the fences, they're kind of doing the job as that right now. But like having a nice little hedge for around your house would be really cute. There's just a lot of potential. I think it's a good option to have for a lot of villagers, because that's one of the things, like I told you at the beginning, like I'm really excited to decorate the exterior of my villagers' homes and kind of have them look like this is how I feel this character would decorate. And
Mhm.
so not not having access to something like bushes, because I'm like, oh, I think this character would really like kind of more of a hedge fence.
Right. Hmm.
Yeah, so I would like that to be an option, but as of right now, it's not. And, like I'm saying, it could be a matter of what are we at today? I guess when the episode comes out, it's going to be the 14th. We're going to be a little over a week, I think a week and 1 day away from Earth Day. So the game could be getting updated at any point. Maybe it's already
Yes.
updated by the time this episode is out, and
Yeah.
we just don't know.
Yeah, that would
But
be very nice for sure.
yeah, also Bunny Day was 2 weeks. Let Leaf's Day be 2 weeks too. Come on.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, start it now. Start it now. I'd be into it if they started it now for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
So what's your next one?
The next one is retail, or at least a part of retail that I really like, which was the item auctions, when you could put up an item for any villager really to just walk around and buy it and have it on display on their house. It wasn't so much the fact that you would get money out of it, and you could even sell them for a little bit higher than retail price, I guess I could say. But it was a nice way for you to ensure that some villagers got items that you wanted them to get, or maybe it was not the right villager that you wanted the item, but it was a nice way to mix up the items in their houses, basically.
Yeah, no, I agree for sure. A lot of people have been saying like, "Oh, you don't really need retail anymore because you can't refurbish your stuff, and you can just sell stuff to the Nooklings." And I'm like, "Yeah, but you could do that in New Leaf too. You could sell stuff to the Nooklings
Yeah,
in the previous game. Like, it
yeah,
didn't have to go get sold at retail. I think they gave you a better price, so it was more worth selling at retail, but."
yes,
Overall, they had that whole feature that was essentially like a consignment shop. you could put stuff up, sell it to your villagers, sell it to friends who visited. Essentially, like, instead of
Yeah.
just trading straight up with people, you could be like, oh yeah, go check my shop and see what I'm selling these days.
Yeah.
That way it's like, you craft something for somebody, they can go and kind of pay for it in some way if you're about that life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, overall, I need retail for sure. I love Reese and Cyrus. I think they'd be a fun addition.
Yeah.
And the refurbishing stuff wasn't the only thing they did. I think there's potential to grow their services for sure.
Yes. Hmm.
Okay. My next one is a big one for multiplayer, and just like I want mini games to come back.
Yes.
Like I have not seen the timer item. Do you know if the timer is back in the game?
I haven't seen it. No, nothing. Nothing.
Yeah, because the timer, like you could do bug catching competitions, fishing competitions with your friends at least
Yeah.
on your island, but you don't have I mean, you have an island, but you don't have the island like Tortimer's Island where you could go and compete or play together and just essentially get a bunch of mini games that you could play and have fun, in a different way than it's just like visiting an island, which is it's still pretty cool. You're going to see a lot of variation with what people do with their islands, but overall I'm just like, yeah, but once we're done with that, let us play some games.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole of Animal Crossing is a game itself, so it's kind of strange, the notion of playing a game within a game, but we're into that. We like the meta stuff with Animal Crossing.
Yeah, especially with now the ability to have 8 players. It kind of
Yes.
seems, yeah, it seems like a big miss, but there's always room for an update.
Yeah, for sure. Having 8 players play the games together, that's a big deal. That's a big change. That's a really cool new way to go at the games for sure.
Yes. Hmm.
Yeah, so I think you're on your last one, correct?
Yes, the last one. It's the gyroids. They were so cool to collect. They were all different in their own way, and it was very nice to just find them. It was a nice reason to look forward to rainy days in the game because you would get a lot of gyroids. And I feel like considering the amount of storage that we can have in the game for regular items, it would be possible to have a like a little separate storage just for gyroids. And if that was the case, I feel like a lot of people would be very enticed to collect them all. And if we had a lot of people wanting to collect them, there would be a lot of trading going on, and it would be something nice to trade with others and just to make sure that everyone completed their collection over time.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I had whole rooms dedicated in the museum to the
Yeah.
gyroids. So I'm bummed that they're not back. I think a lot of people really loved them, especially people who like played the first games. I think had more of an affinity with the gyroids for
Yes.
sure. They just like they're funky little creatures that are really cute and charming and strange in a lot of weird ways.
Yes.
um, but yeah, like they've been in every game. I'm surprised they're not here yet, except for Lloyd, who still doesn't have an amiibo. Why not give him an amiibo? Come
Yeah.
on, Nintendo. But yeah, no, gyroids, I'm all about it.
Nice.
All right. My last one is one that's kind of in the game, but also kind of not. But I miss stationery, and I mean specifically like the paper that you use to write letters and stuff.
Oh, okay.
There's not like a way to just like go and buy some stationery, go write your letter on your own time. You kind of just have to run to the Dodo Airlines and just pay right there and send
Yeah.
something right there. Like there's no way around it,
Yeah.
And sometimes I do just want to buy a letter and be like, oh, I'm gonna write this while I'm at home or something, just to have some paper on me,
Yes.
and then get prepared, and then just go and click an option where I can just send a bunch of letters. Because now, instead of having a bunch of letters prepped, you're doing them all one at a time, one
Oh,
sends, and then you
yeah.
click back into that menu to go and do it all over again. So in some ways, it just like it slows down,
Definitely. Hmm.
Yeah, because I really would have liked the ability to essentially, just have the option to send 8 letters at a time, like in the old games.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, those are that's it. That's my list. I'm sure a lot of people will pick a lot of different ones, but I think overall we came up with like some 10 really great things that should come back, you know?
Yes. Hopefully, here's hoping.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, hopefully. We're going to see how these updates go over time, but I'm really I would like to see a lot of this game grow even more than it already is, cuz like we talk about this every week, we're not having an issue at all with playing constantly. I definitely feel like we want to play the game a lot. So I don't think there's like a lack of content. I think there's just stuff that maybe we're just still going to be waiting for,
Right. Hmm.
Yeah. And I'm really excited to see how this game turns out in the end. Because, this conversation, like I said, has come up a lot in our Discord where it's like, is Animal Crossing unfinished? Is it finished and everything? And I kind of chimed in and I was like, oh, I consider it more of a living game where it's not unfinished and it's not finished. It's just like still in the works,
Yes.
Yeah. So that's how I look at it. But yeah, I guess other people can have that debate for later.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll come back to it at one point. But let's go ahead and move into our final segment, and that is Haken's Islander Corner. For those of you who don't know, every single week we ask our patrons on Patreon a question and read some of their answers here on the show. This week's question was, which event was your favorite? Cherry Blossoms, Bunny Day, or the fishing tournament? Because there were a lot of events this past week, I figured it was time to pit them all against each other in the spirit of the fishing tournament. So Sergio and I, let's go back and forth with these. Sergio, do you want to start?
Sure. The first answer for this week is by Quantrell Tabal, and he told us his choice is the Cherry Blossoms. He said it had the length of the Bunny Day event to take at your own pace without having the pressure of the fishing tourney or being a nuisance like the constant Bunny Day X. It found the sweet spot. And I would agree with Quantrell. I guess my issue is that it was the shortest. Well, not the fishing tourney because that was a 1 day thing, but we're kind of used to those being a 1 day. I just wish the cherry blossoms had been a little bit longer, at least a few days.
Yeah, it goes by really fast. I mean, 10 days is not too much. But yeah, no, I think Quantrell's on the right track though. Like, I think for me, looking back at how Bunny Day went, I wouldn't have minded if Bunny Day was only a week, maybe even just the 10 days like Cherry Blossoms were.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that was more of a sweet spot for me where it was like, oh, we have this much time, but it is also kind of a bummer to see the Cherry Blossoms go so quickly. I know a lot of people were really happy to have them in their town. And I even saw like comments of people going like, oh, I'm cutting down trees now because they don't look as good without the cherry blossoms. And I disagree with that. I think the trees look phenomenal and I'm keeping all of mine still because I can't cut them down. I can't bring myself to do it. I'm just going to move them and rearrange them. But yeah, overall, I think, yeah, I like that sentiment where it was long, and it had some cool new things to craft. So, yeah, I think it was cool.
Oh, nice.
Caden Finland said, I enjoyed the fishing tourney the best. I like the change of pace from the old fishing tourneys. I love how vibrant CJ is. I really enjoyed his character. I didn't get all of the items though, but the ones I did get, I really enjoyed. And this is a really good point to make for sure. Like the CJ character features just like this excitement that we weren't gonna get from, I guess, Chip,
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so CJ, like, he brings some really cool life to this series for sure, and I'm really enjoying these new characters thus far.
Yeah, definitely. CJ was a great addition to the cast, and I agree. Getting more than one item or getting a bunch of different items for the tourney, like you said, Kaden. Even if we didn't get all of them, we still got a good amount, and then we have more for the future.
Yeah, for sure. There's so many, and I wonder if they're going to be the same next time or if it's going to have some new stuff. But I'm really looking forward to that next fishing tournament for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So Nietzsche said, definitely the cherry blossoms. I love seeing my trees turn pink and having all the petals blow around in the air. It gave my island a really pretty aesthetic. I miss it already. Yeah, it just wasn't enough, and at the same time, I wish it hadn't overlapped with Bunny Day, so we could have enjoyed each one separately a little more. I'm definitely with Nietzsche here.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the overlap was a real bummer for me, mostly because I realized like it doesn't rain during Bunny Day at all. And I would have liked to see like a nice rainy cherry blossom day for sure.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, it would have been great. I miss
Yeah.
if it's not raining tomorrow in my town, I'm gonna riot. Because I am tired of this perfect sunny weather. I need some gloom in my life. That's how I want to live. All right, so Kyle Stewart said fishing tournament was the most fun. Cherry Blossom should have had its own week to be any fun, and Bunny Day should have had its own week as well. Eggs turned off during the 3 minutes to catch as many fish as you could. Oh yeah, I get it. Unfortunately, eggs would show up during the fishing
Yes.
tournament if you were playing them. There were only a few times where I ran into them, funny enough, so that was good, but it was kind of a bummer to go into the fishing tournament and be like, oh great, I caught an egg. There's no points for that. And that's why the bait is just so crucial. Like if you use bait, you're not going to get an egg at all. It's always going to be a fish.
Yeah, definitely. I guess the silver lining is that next time we're not gonna have to worry about that. It's just gonna be fish.
Yeah, for sure. July, come on, July. I'm excited for you.
Yeah. Sure. Virginia said, I like the fishing tourney the most. I like the cherry blossoms items more, but they were so hard to get. And with the fishing tourney, you really have a lot to do to collect all the points. I also like that it only takes place once every season, so it stays special. And the bells you can make by selling the fish you caught are a nice bonus. Oh, that's true. I know, Chu, you made a lot. I wish I had made at least as much as you.
Yeah, I got lucky and I caught oarfish several times.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, that definitely boosted my score. But every once in a while, you get your barred knife jaws, your red snappers and stuff. Those are going to be the money making fish for sure.
Yes.
So yeah, no, I put a good 200,000 into my home during that time. So
Yeah.
I was into it for sure. So the final answer is from Lindsay, and she said, "Fishing tourney. I was able to pay off a bridge with the winnings, and I love to fish. Plus, I got some fun items like the pochette and wand, and yeah, there were some really cute things to get from them. The little fish pouch was really cute, and the wand
Yes.
is the most adorable wand that you can get in the game for sure." One thing, this totally reminded me about something, but now I'm forgetting. It was about the items specifically, but yeah, no, the items were really fun, and paying off a bridge is great. Shoot, I can't remember, and I wish I did. It left me. Oh well. But yeah, I guess how are you? Which was your favorite, Sergio, of these events?
Oh, the events. Honestly, surprising to everyone. I didn't see anyone pick this answer. I'm going with Bunny Day only because of the length. I like long events. I like the fact that everyone was engaged into them. All the villagers, they were really into it, giving you tips and advice. Sometimes a little too repetitive, but that could be worked on for future events. I just like long events. So Bunny Day, especially with that song, the music.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with fishing tournament.
Oh.
Mostly, I think the thing that just brings it over the edge for me, outside of me just going way too crazy with it and still failing, was just that CJ, when he would take your fish, essentially, he would take pictures of you, and
Yes.
I wanted so badly to have like a photo of us together sent to me the next day. And I was like, there
Oh.
was the opportunity right there, because he turns around and takes a selfie with you essentially, and I was just like, that's adorable, let me have that picture, I want it. So I would have liked that, but yeah, no, I had a good time with the fishing tournament. I thought it was great. I just had a fun time. That's all I can do.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So I guess, did you have any other comments about the show today?
No, it's just it's nice to have these many events. I guess they're gonna slow down a little bit. We might have one, maybe a week or a month or so. We're definitely not gonna have three in such close succession, at least not for a while. But here's hoping. And it was a nice way to distribute the events. Like we still have a lot of things to do on our islands, and then we had these three events on top of it. So it definitely kept us busy. It was a very nice week for sure.
Yeah, yeah, you're totally right. It's probably going to slow down quite a bit at this point. Of course, we do have the Earth Day event coming up. Funny enough, looking at the April calendar right now, in previous Animal Crossing games, we'd have the Weeding Day in North America and Europe, kind of back to back. This
Hmm.
month, and then Arbor Day was earlier in Korea, which is essentially Earth Day. So yeah, it seems like a good month to have Leaf in the game. Fishing tournament was actually correct on the calendar for this one, April
Oh,
11th. Funny enough, because that was one thing I was worried about making the calendar, just like that stuff happens on the days that it's supposed to happen,
right,
or
right.
or that we're used to it happening. But yeah, I'm really just looking forward to more events in the future, but it is going to be like points where it slows down and we don't have as much to go through. Summer tends to be a lull for Animal Crossing, even though people keep telling me Animal Crossing is a summer game, and I'm like, no, it's an autumn game. It's an autumn and winter game. You're all wrong. No, but really, it's just like heavily a lot of the holidays are gonna lean toward that part of the year. But
Mhm.
yeah, we'll see how they fill in the summer. I hope they do some really fun things to keep us entertained. But I mean, the game itself is already so entertaining, so
Yes.
it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Yeah. Well, thank you all so much for tuning in to this episode of Haken, an Animal Crossing podcast. Don't want the episode to end? Well, you can keep the conversation going by Nintendo switching over to our Discord. Just follow the link in the description, and you can talk with people who love Animal Crossing as much as you do, including Sergio and me. Want to support the show in a bigger way and get your voice heard during the show? Visit patreon.com/ChewiePlaysNintendo. You can support our show with just $1, get special access to a secret room on Discord, join in on the Haken Islander Corner, and even read a monthly newsletter covering all things Haken and Chewie Plays. I actually missed a newsletter last month, but I am working on one for this month, so it should come out very soon. But really, we appreciate your support and put your money towards some great things on the show. Tuned in on YouTube? The comments are a great place to let us know your answers to the Haken Islander Corner. Which event was your favorite? Cherry Blossoms, Bunny Day, or the Fishing Tourney? If you dig what you hear, please KK slide over to that review section on your platform of choice. Let people know what they're missing out on. Haken is a wild production brought to you by Chewy, Sergio, and all of our patrons. We thank you for listening, and we hope you have a great week.
Goodbye, everybody.